tested by the penetrant method are subsequently subjected to varying temperatures. This may be no chemical attack at the room temperature. This property should have. Otherwise, if they don't have this property, so it will attack on our material and which will degrade our product. But if the traces of the penetrant are left on the part, it is subjected to elevated temperature, then pitting, irregular corrosion or stress corrosion may occur. All penetrant material must be subjected to 3 corrosion tests. Keep in point, all penetrant material must be subjected to 3 corrosion tests. First is the moderate temperature corrosion, high temperature stress corrosion, and high temperature corrosion of nickel based alloy. Corrosion testing of penetrant material is detailed in SAE AMS 2644. So this detail, if you want to read in a detail, you can search this documents and you will get the more detail. Regarding for the color, what I speak to you, the carrier or vehicle in liquid penetrant is practically a colorless and transparent. This makes it very difficult to see when it is entrapped in a small surface opening and voids. A dye or blend of dye is dissolved in the vehicle to provide high contrast, readily visible interaction. 2 types of dye are usually used. First is the visible dye and second is the fluorescent. Okay, so dye is the 2 types of dye. First is the visible dye and second is the fluorescent dye. What are the visible dye? Visible dye penetrant are also called a color contrast penetrant. Are viewed under visible light are all available in a red, orange and purple. The most frequently used dye are red because they provide high contrast with the doubler and many metallic surfaces. They are inexpensive and readily dissolved in the penetrant oil. When used with the emulsifier or solvent to remove the excess surface penetrant, the small amount of penetrant trapped in the surface discontinuity is diluted when it is spread through the doubler. To compensate for this, the deepest sets of red and highest concentration of dye that can be dissolved in the oil without precipitation is red dye are visible in the very thin film. However, fluorescent dye are visible in even thinner films. One of the basic reasons that is visible dye is considered to be less sensitive than a fluorescent dye is the fluorescent penetrant can locate an indication with a small thinner volume of oil. The primary advantage of the visible penetrant is that it can be used with the ordinary soap lighting. What is the advantage of the visible dye penetrant? Because it can be used in the ordinary soap lighting and it can be applied from a small portable kit. Now, this fluorescent dye, some minerals and chemical compounds have ability to emit visible light. What are the fluorescent dye? Some material and chemical compound have the ability to emit visible light when exposed to short wavelength energy, X-ray, ultraviolet light. This property of converting short wavelength energy to visible light, short wavelength energy is converted into visible light is term known as the fluorescence.